When you win. First question on this episode came from my guy, Rodale. He said, my guy, when you win, you feel like you're on top. When you win, you feel like you can't be stopped. When you win, it's the best feeling ever. When you win, it's a feeling you wish lasts forever. And hey, my guy starting off with the poetry, the rhymes, and the scheme with it. Okay, I like it. But anyway, he said now that the corny poem is... He said, now that the corny poem is over, I guess that makes sense. I actually liked it. I didn't think it was corny, but since it's corny and I liked it, I guess I'm corny, right? But anyway, he said, when this Baltimore Ravens team wins, it shouldn't feel like this. My guy, this is about 11 hours after that horrendous showing against the Broncos, and even during the game, immediately after, and even as I type this, I literally feel like we lost. See, you are not the only Ravens fan that felt that way. There have been a lot of Ravens fans that have felt that same way. And one thing that I really noticed, especially with this win, is that so many Ravens fans, I've seen them just calling out issues that need to be called out. Respectfully, of course, in a respectful way. I've seen some, unfortunately, do it in a disrespectful way, which that's unnecessary. But I've seen Ravens fans having the conversations that need to be had. Because what I appreciate right now is that so many Ravens fans, they're seeing it. They're seeing stuff. And they're talking about the stuff. They're talking about the issues with this team. And they're recognizing, like, man, like, are we ever going to get these things corrected? But let's continue with this question. He said, number one, this offense is an absolute dumpster fire. Not just play calling, but roster construction, effort, will, communication, accountability, talent. All the above. And the worst part of it all is nobody in the front office sees it. Nothing is going to change. Steve, Eric, Harbs, and Giro see absolutely nothing wrong with this offense. It's literally mind-blowing and beyond me. Number two, did LJ mentally check out? Don't get me, well, first let's talk about number one. Talk about the offense. Yeah, the offense it's been bad. It's been rough. It's been pretty rough, man. Even before this game, it's just been a lot going on. Sometimes a lot of nothing going on, but it's been rough. It's been ugly. And we feel like there's just some little fixes here and there, but again, biggest thing, my eyes. I mean, I already said it. I ain't even got to say it no more. Y'all know what I'm about to say. But number two, he said, did LJ mentally check out? Don't get me wrong. The lack of getting open continued after Lamar got injured. The disgusting play calling continued. The offensive line struggles. But it seemed like a mini surge injected into the offense. We all know it's no secret that LJ locks on to Andrews as option 1 and 2 and then goes elsewhere. But when Tyler came in, it seemed like a new offense in a way. I don't want to look too deep into it, but I doubt if the players are giving up on LJ. Wouldn't doubt it if he's giving up on them, or could Greg simply be sabotaging Lamar Jackson? You know, it's crazy. Again, that S word has been floating around like wildfire. A lot of Ravens fans are thinking that's what it's looking like, because things are just, it's a lot of coincidences out there. But anyway, he said, I don't know the answer, but Tyler came in and moved the ball, got everyone involved, and even looked more calm and comfortable doing so. The offense seemed a tad bit more fluid, although the flaws didn't change. Now with that, I do think it was definitely a different offense that they called, the way that they called a lot more shorter stuff. But they scored 10 points. Now, Broncos defense is really good. They're really, really, really good. Ravens offense scored 10 points. They scored 10 points. Because I know that there's always this talk about, oh, yeah, when Tyler Huntley comes in, offense looks more efficient, looks better, looks this, that, and the third. They scored 10 points. They scored 10 points. 10 points. And not saying that you doing it because you're not doing it, but I've seen just, and it happens a lot. Because I know people, it's a lot of Ravens fans too. That sometimes that's the saddest part about it. Most of the people that just really don't like Lamar and just waiting to be like, hey, this is why we need to move on from him. This is why he doesn't need to be paid the big bucks. This is why he shouldn't get his money. They sort of try to overhype Tyler Huntley a bit. Well, not even a bit, but overhype. And again, it was 10 points. I told you, like I've seen several people say, hey, see, look, after the game, now you see why we need to start Tyler Huntley? Really? That's your reasoning why we should start? Anyway, number 3, Marcus Peters. Oh, he just put number 3, Marcus Peters. That was it. Now, hey, Marcus Peters had a good game the other day. He was quiet. You didn't hear a peep out of Marcus Peters. And as a cornerback, that's a good thing. Well, I mean, it could be even better if a cornerback got a pick or turnover or something like that. But you ain't hear nothing from Marcus Peters. And I remember during the game, I had questioned. I said, is he even playing? Because I hadn't heard anything from Marcus Peters whatsoever. So that's a good thing. He said, number 4, I truly believe our last great performance was the Miami Dolphins game. It's a shame because we lost that game, but I mean, we haven't played well since, to me. The Bucs win was a big but for a half of the game, but we were walking in quicksand. The Saints game, man, but offensively, defensively, and LJ's last best game to me was 10 weeks ago. Says a lot. We haven't been good, and what makes it all worse is practice isn't changing anything. These same motivational speeches from Harb's every presser aren't working. We are seeing the same Ravens week to week. To me, they are slowly declining every week. All these funds into the defense just to put the game on their shoulders, and they fold. The philosophy don't add up anymore. It does not work. It's expired. And number 5, 13 points against the Panthers. Yeah, that was rough. Ooh, that was ugly. 10 points against the Broncos. That was rough. That was ugly. Those are home games after the bye week. Did you see how the Cowboys ain't play with their food at home against a supremely bad team? How about the Lions at home against the Jaguars? We struggled and lost. Who we struggled and lost to. But Harbaugh can leave the game and say beating a 3-8 team by 1 at home is a great win. Make it make sense, dog. If we are barely scoring 15 while giving the same thing, what are we going to do against Buffalo, KC, Miami, and Cincy? Is it just me, or are we getting worse week by week? Wow. Powerful question right there. Very powerful way to start us off. Are the Ravens getting worse week by week? Ravens are very weird, man. They are a very weird team. A lot of times, if you would hear Ravens fans talk about the Baltimore Ravens and the state of the team, you would think that this team was like 3-8 or something like that, or maybe they were 2-9 or whatever the record would be. But they're 8-4. But the reason that Ravens fans talk about the team the way that they do is because it's like, man, we just feel like it's been so many wasted opportunities, so much wasted potential, and not potential being maximized by the team. We just feel like they could do so much better. And in the past, they could have done so much more better things. They should have accomplished a lot more than they have. And we're not saying, oh, Ravens, they should be in the Super Bowl every single year. I mean, we would love that, but that's not a realistic expectation. But we definitely should think they should have definitely went farther than they did. And you could talk about so many different areas where you feel like they could have got better, as far as roster construction, as far as different drafts, as far as bringing in guys, as far as coaching, as far as execution. It's so many different areas where we feel like the Ravens have just slipped up. But I mean, they're 8-4, and one thing I appreciate is that, and I remember we talked about this years ago, how winning just covers up so much. When you win, it covers up so much. But especially this year, I think Ravens fans are really like seeing through the wins. Now, the winning is the most important thing, of course. Don't ever get me wrong. It's the most important thing. But Ravens fans are seeing through those wins, and they still see what's going on. That's why a lot of them just aren't confident in this season moving forward. It'd be nice if Ravens could be like, look, there you go. Put on a great display against a bad team. Because Ravens, like, normally, especially under Lamar, they would normally take care of the bad teams. They normally would. And for the most part, they have. But against the Broncos, well, you did beat the Broncos. You got the win. Most important thing. But, had 10 more seconds been on that clock, I don't know if we'd be having the same conversation. Because, again, that last drive, they were moving the ball right down the field. No problem. Broncos' last drive, when they were setting up for a 63-yard field goal. Against the Jaguars, they end up getting the lead. Had a little cushion too, 9 points, but we know how that went too. Giants, 10-point cushion. We know how that went. There was the turnovers, bad turnovers too. Who was it? The Bills. Bills with some bad turnovers as well. I think Lamar threw 2 picks to that's where he was late on that fourth down call. I think Ravens probably should have taken the points back then, but that's nor here nor there. I don't even know if I said the saying right. But anyway, the fact that they're 8-4 is amazing, in my opinion. That is like that's amazing for this team with man. But I do appreciate that fans are still recognizing and realizing what the Ravens' issues are, despite the record.
Yeah, this feels like a dream.
Damn, keep it clean. Welcome to another episode of Questions from Subs. If you want to be a part of Questions from Subs, well, you know what to do. It's all down below in the description. Anyway, next question came from my guy Luffy. He said, I feel for Lamar Jackson. What's up, Ingraven? Last time I sent a question, I said Lamar could lead us to the playoffs and hopefully the Super Bowl with D-Rob, Duvernay, and Money Mark as his weapons with the help of a run game, but it's just too much. With all the turmoil with his unknown future with the team that drafted him and the constant narratives being thrown on him about his game, can you imagine how much of a strain this season is for him? I've been seeing everything you've been seeing when it comes to the Ravens and how much they actually value Lamar as a quarterback. In my opinion, they just wanted to use Lamar how they wanted to use him, which is basically like a running back that occasionally will throw a deep pass. It's frustrating knowing how much Lamar can control and take over an entire game. Meanwhile, people are saying Tyler Huntley is better, and no shot at Huntley, but it's levels to this. Huntley is a good player, but he doesn't have that it factor like Lamar. As sad as it sounds, Lamar will most likely leave and will take a huge chunk of the Ravens fan base with him. That is entirely possible. Anyway, he continuing. He said, in my opinion, I think Steve Bisciotti just wants to stay in the mix so he can milk the franchise. When teams have good reasons, they don't get as many good draft picks, which means in order to maintain or build your roster, you have to spend money acquiring players via free agency or through trade and taking on their contracts and or extending them. This is what all the good teams now are doing, such as the Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, and I would say the Rams, but yikes. Hey, talk about the Rams all you want to. They got the Super Bowl. They got their Super Bowl. I know I've seen some people say, oh, Ravens fans, look at that. That's what you guys wanted to do? You see the Rams? What are they? I don't know if they're 3-0. I don't know what their record is. I know it's bad, but so I see a lot of Ravens fans saying, look, look at those Rams. Yeah, look at their Super Bowl, too, that they got last year. Look at that. But anyway, continuing, he said, could this be the reason Ravens value draft picks so much? Now, if you're a bad team, you get good draft picks, but it will take time for you to even be competitive against such as the Jags, Texans, Lions. You will save more money if you slowly and steadily build your roster almost exclusively through draft picks while spending the big money on defensive players because they are cheaper than offensive players, all while making you seem more competitive than you are by slowing down the other offenses to your offense's slow and lethargic pace. That's if your investments bear fruit. He getting deep now. What they were thinking on draft night was, are we drafting an impactful wide receiver that's going to increase the numbers for our quarterback that we'll have to pay soon, and eventually the receiver himself when we can draft a defensive end that we can pay less when it's time to extend him, and we can trade him if need be. Just compare the different sides of the ball. Linebackers make significantly less than quarterbacks. Well, yeah, everybody. Linebackers, cornerbacks, defense, yeah, everybody. Well, I mean, pretty much every position makes significantly less than quarterbacks, but wide receivers coming up, they like them top wide receivers getting quarterback money. But anyway, he said all of these factors affect ticket, merch, and parking sales. Good teams usually have periods where they are constantly competitive. Some turn to dynasties, but they will always eventually end, so the team will drop off. So will sales. And if you're a bad team, no one wants to come and see you anyway. But if you end the year with an okay record, build your roster almost exclusively on draft picks, and make it to the first or second round each year, then you'll keep a steady fan base that will just keep hoping for that high they felt a decade ago. Oof, man. Ooh. That hurt. But it could be just me at this point. I'm questioning every level of authority figures of the Baltimore Ravens because I just can't make sense of their tactics and motives. They literally sabotage themselves. Losing Lamar would hurt their pockets more than help, so why do they treat him this way? That's the end of my rant. Don't get me started on how I think Giro was purposely designing plays that have all the receivers right on top of each other, making it way easier for the defense to defend them, but that's a story for another day. So I pose a question. What do you see coming in the near future, and how do you think it will affect the Ravens? Thank you for being you, and like the Ravens fans, Super Bowl aspirations, I'm out. Wow, what do you see coming in the near future, and how do you think it will affect the Ravens? Oh, again, I'm hoping they keep Lamar, but I'm very scared. I'm very scared both ways. Like, I'm scared for what happens if they keep Lamar. I'm scared for what happens if they lose Lamar. Reason I'm scared for what happens if they keep Lamar, because the way that they built the team already, they could easily, because fans already have it programmed in their minds, oh, if Lamar makes all this money, then the Ravens can't build a team around him. They can't build an offense around him. What type of offense did they build around him already when they didn't have to pay him? So now fans will already have the excuse, oh, this is why we can't get weapons. You see Lamar making all that money, this is why we can't get weapons. So it's almost like he'll be stuck. But then, on the flip side, if they lose Lamar, then that would be them losing Lamar. That'd be like, oh, gosh, here we go. And that would be really bad, man. That would be really bad. So, I mean, either way, I think it's just going to be a real tough situation. And he He also said, this is what I mean. Long, slow plays, knowing the O-line can't hold blocks that long is designed for them to be open at the end of the play. And he sent his check down to his left side instead of right, making it for one, difficult to even see, and second, to throw because he will have to turn to face him. And a check down is supposed to be quick. And then he has Pat Ricard blocking. Where his check down should be coming from. If the check down simply went to the right, that's a 40-yard play, possibly a touchdown. Also, he had he sent one of the plays from the game. So yeah, my guy Luffy is over it, and I don't know, man. It's gonna be, I keep saying, I mean, I know y'all tired of hearing me saying it, but this offseason is gonna be really, really, really crazy. I mean, this season is already really, really crazy. It'd be nice if all this craziness, it had a nice happy ending. The future vision. Next question came from my guy Dylan. He said, "Hey, Ingraven, hope all is well and everybody at Team Keep It Clean is great. I have some thoughts about a multitude of things. Number one, I honestly think since Lamar, this could potentially be our best first-round draft class for a long time. Both Hamilton and Linderbaum, in my eyes, have been phenomenal as they have progressed." Yeah, they've been getting better and better. They both still got their hiccups here and there, but they've been pretty good overall. Number two, I personally will not accept another in-house offensive coordinator unless it's T. Martin. Prior to Bateman going down, I felt like we saw a really good development cycle in our receivers, but now it feels like we are going backwards, whether it's because Bateman isn't there or we are putting all of our eggs in the run game. Well, again, even if T. Martin is the offensive coordinator, I'm just wondering, like, I think it'll be a lot of the same. And that ain't nothing against T. Martin, but I would just be concerned because it's the same philosophy. But anyway, number three, we never think twice about high-end spending on defense. Marcus Williams is a great example. We went and got him, no second thoughts, but we always hear that we tried with offensive weapons. And in saying that, though, do we really think if we drafted Justin Jefferson that he would be that great here in Baltimore? If we traded for A.J. Brown, would he be that dominant here? See, the thing with the Ravens, with Justin Jefferson, no, he would definitely not be who he is. Because of the scheme, the offense, the philosophy, he would not be the Justin Jefferson that he is over with the Vikings. So great situation that he went to. Now with A.J. Brown, if they would have traded for him, the Titans, they hate the Ravens. They ain't trading nobody there. But if they would have traded for A.J. Brown, he's already established. So he would have had a much higher chance for success. The numbers wouldn't have went crazy, but he would have had a much higher chance for success with the Ravens after those first 4 years with the Titans, and not if they drafted him though. Number four, he said, when it comes to offensive weapons, have we really built around Lamar? Everyone talks about wideouts. Maybe I'm too critical in what I'm about to say, but are Gus and J.K. top 10 running backs, honestly, or do they do well because of Lamar? That's wow. Anyway, he said, sure, Mark Andrews is a top end talent at tight end, but like Lamar needs help so that not all the workload is on him. Our run blockers, sorry, I meant wide receivers. Well, we know what we have there. Now, I can tell you what we do have top end talent in, though, our fullback by default. I get everyone saying we need a top tier wideout, and I agree. However, if you're going to be cheap in the wide receiver department, what if you had Mark Andrews with a Dallas, Goddard from the Eagles, or TJ Hawkinson, who was literally just traded? What if you had a Dalvin Cook with Lamar? Or my dream situation, which would never happen, but Aaron Jones from the Packers. In all honesty, this team has to be a wild card team. If they make the playoffs, they simply play better as underdogs. Sorry for the long-winded message, but what are your thoughts? And just like Rashad Bateman, unfortunately, I'm out. They play better as a wild card. I mean, I don't. Yeah, but I don't really think that all that should matter. Getting in it's playoffs, whether you're a wild card, whether you division winner, number 1 seed, 2 seed, whatever. Because you still got to play. You still got to play. And Ravens just need to do a better job of being prepared and just executing. They have to do a better job of making adjustments. They have to do a better job of just really attacking, man. And not being timid. They have to do just a better job in a lot of areas, man. Will they be able to this year, though? That's been my biggest question. Will they be able to? And with Ravens, the biggest thing that they really need to do is just finish. Ravens are a team that they're capable of so much, but their biggest issue is finishing. That's their biggest problem, finishing. So hopefully things could get turned around starting this week at the Steelers, but that's gonna be a tough game. It's a tough game. That's your Tyler Huntley versus Kenny Pickett. The Steelers gonna come with it, man. They gonna come with it. I think that game. I don't think it's gonna be as ugly as the Broncos and Ravens get, but I think it will definitely be an ugly one. But hopefully, we can start to see like a little bit of a turnaround. But the thing is, even if we start to see a little bit of a turnaround, then we're gonna have to see it start over again with Lamar. We're gonna have to see a turnaround when he comes in and when he comes back. So I mean, we'll just see how this thing goes, man. Next question came from my guy Karen. He said, "What's up, Ingraven? I'm sending this email a few hours after the Broncos game. Unlike most Ravens fans, you included, I love Harbaugh and I think he's a future Hall of Famer." Hold up now. I got a lot of love for John Harbaugh too. Don't get it twisted. They ain't got no hate for John Harbaugh at all. I don't agree with a lot that he does, and I don't agree with the philosophy. I think it's time for a major upgrade and update. But yeah, it ain't no love lost for. Well, no, that's the wrong thing to say. I got a lot of love for John Harbaugh, man. So yeah, don't get it twisted, man. Everything that we say on here, it comes from a place of love. If I ain't love them and I ain't love these Ravens, then we wouldn't even be having conversations. But what am I talking about these dudes every day if I ain't got love for them? But yeah, it's, when you love somebody or love something, you can't be afraid to have them tough conversations. Can't be afraid of it. But anyway. He said, I love Harbaugh and I think he's a future Hall of Famer. But how can he look at Roman's schemes and play calling and think it's not a problem? Because it's his scheme and play calling. Because it's him. It's his philosophy. That's why. But anyway, he said the trick play with Prochet throwing an interception to Drake in quadruple coverage was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Also, he's consistently going 3 tight ends with Lamar at a slower pace, but with Huntley, we're going 3 wide receivers in a quicker pace. Yes. There was even a fire Roman chant at the game. Oof, yikes. Harbaugh has to notice these things. What do you think? Of course he notices them. But he's the one that put Roman in the position that he's in and has continued to put him in a position that he's in because it's really Harbaugh's position. It's really just it's John. It's John Harbaugh. This is his team. This is his philosophy. This is his style. So that's why Roman just been chilling. Calm down. Next question came from my guy Oreo Cookie. He said, hello, Ingraven. I said that I was done being pessimistic about the Ravens, so I'm going to be optimistic. Ravens fans need to calm down. We are, well, I guess this was before the game. He said, we are 7-4, tied for first in the division. We play the Broncos, the Bengals, play the Chiefs. So as long as we win, we get help there. Look how that turned out. Chiefs ain't give Ravens no help. He said, also, it's funny how the NFL's height standard is way different than ours. As a 5'11" person, I find calling someone who is 6'1" short. Funny, I hope to grow to be 6'1". Anyway, sorry for the longer email. He said, like, 5'11". Well, yeah, that's because I'm like 5'9", 5'10". So yeah, I'm short myself. But yeah, well, compared to NFL players, well, some of them shorter than us, but there's a lot of them that's like way taller. So it's different. But you saying calm down? Yeah, again, like we talked about earlier, the Ravens. Well, now they're 8-4 after this email. But the reason why people are not necessarily calm right now is because of what they see on the field. Like, the record is nice, and like I say, it's crazy that the Ravens are still 8-4 despite everything. But you can't ignore what your eyes are seeing. Believe that. Next question came from my guy Noah. He said, hey, Ingraven, hope all is good with you and the fam. I want to send this in because it's been on my mind for a while. The state of this team is in a real rocky place, I fear. After a sloppy win against Denver, seeing fans curse Giro out at the bank, John still being delusional, saying it's a great win. Lamar might miss some time, and the O-line is still a turnstile. I guess we can say a win is a win. LOL. I hope that Lamar has a speedy recovery and that it's nothing serious. It feels like a lot like last year with his ankle injury, nothing serious, but then he misses the rest of the season. I hope this really isn't the last time we see him in a Ravens uniform. If it is, the organization from top down has truly failed a generational talent in the city that's been begging for another star. One thing in particular that had me stuck on this topic lately is reminiscing his draft night, seeing how relieved and motivated he seemed to come to Baltimore. His response to Prime about the Ravens getting a Super Bowl out of him. I hope this has more to do with him hoisting the Lombardi in purple and black rather than the Ravens getting another team's whole draft future for the next foreseeable future. Wouldn't be shocked by the last part. It feels they value draft picks more than transcending talent anyway. That part really hurt my heart. He says, so to bring this whole thing home, I have to ask, how do you feel? Are we too far gone to make it work with or for Lamar? If not, what's the best case scenario to keep him here long-term? Contract, structure, wide receivers, etc. And lastly, who would be your ideal coaching staff for this team? Head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Thank you for taking time to read this. I truly appreciate it. And hopefully, like Lamar isn't for a whole boatload of first round picks, I'm out. Shout out to Noah. That was something right there. So, how do I feel? Are we too far gone to make it work with and for Lamar? I don't think they are, but I think in order for them to really make it work, not just for him to stay, but for them to really make it work. So with him staying and having the ultimate level of success that he can have, I think the coaching staff would have to be different. It would have to be different. And I'm not one to be, fire this guy, that guy. But if they not willing to update stuff, then I think you would have to do a clean sweep. I really do. And again, I ain't here to call for nobody job right there. But I'm saying if for ultimate success with a Lamar Jackson, things would have to be different. They would have to be. The mindset of the team would have to be different. And as long as the same guys remain in charge, it's not going to be different. It's not. So, I know they running things the way that they run stuff and just hoping that something shakes out, hoping that something works out. And we all hope that it does too. But I can't expect it to. Realistically, I can't. I'm hoping for the best, obviously, but I can't expect it to work in Ravens' favor. And he said, what's the best case scenario to keep him here long term? Contract structure, wide receivers. Well, the first would be the contract, yeah. But I think he would really just want to look at the direction that the Ravens are heading. Like, what's their vision moving forward? What are they trying to do? And are they just talking about them trying to do it, or are they putting it into action? And who would be my ideal coaching staff for the team? Oh, boy. I don't even know, man. At offensive court, my ideal coaching staff. I don't know. Would there be a way where I could get Eric Bieniemy and Sean Payton together at once, like to really build the powerhouse? Maybe get somebody from Kyle Shanahan's coaching tree or something. Because the thing, like I'm looking at Mike McDaniel, and just watching like how I love how his offense, and this year I know they got beat up, like they got beat up in the game against the 49ers, but they like, hey, you are the student, you just got beat by the Masters. I ain't tripping off of that, but I love how that offense just, in 49ers offense too, it just sets people up for yak. It sets them up to get the yards after the catch. It sets them up to make plays. It puts them in positions to be playmakers, and different people, and they use different people. It's not just all the same person. You try to key in on the same person. They got somebody else that could do some other stuff. So I will love that. As far as defensive coordinator, and that's like a mix of head coach, offensive coordinator. As far as defensive coordinator, he been running his mouth a lot, talking, but I might have to hit up Rex, man. Say, Rex, you still got something in you. But now, with Mike McDonald, he ain't been bad, but I mean, situationally, sometimes there can be some question marks, and this defense been like they've been giving up some stuff, man. Situationally, like Ravens have had these leads, and it's been a couple games. Now the Giants game, no, that's offense right there. I mean, it's defense too, but it's offense. Offense just Lamar threw that bad pick, and then and then there was a fumble. So I can't really put that on the defense, but like in the Jaguars game, the Ravens offense got the lead twice, and they gave up like 2 long, like 75-yard drives. Like, whoa, and that's clutch time. And then again in the Broncos game, they were getting ready to, but thank goodness that time ran out. So but yeah, defensive coordinator, yeah, I mean, Mike McDonald, maybe Rex Ryan, maybe you said my dream team. I think DeMeco Ryans. Them 49ers be closing, man. They've been closing. Like their defense is like, whoa, okay now. Like those, but so yeah, maybe him. And I know like that would be a lateral position. But you ask who would be my ideal coaching staff. So whether it's a dream or not, That's who it would be. But nah, I appreciate. You ain't got to thank me for reading this. I thank you for even sending this. I appreciate it. Last question on this episode came from my guy Kogan. He said the front office is responsible for Lamar's injuries. Hey, Ingraven, strap in. It's going to be a long one. First, I hope all is well with you and the family. What a game. I hope the Ravens' future superstar Stout iced down that leg good because we're going to need him in the coming weeks. This guy, man. Don't do Ravens offense like that. Hopefully they don't do us like that. But anyway, he said enough pettiness for now. I believe the front office is solely responsible for all of Lamar's injuries. Their decisions to run the long development pass schemes without elite skilled player personnel and heavy reliance on Lamar to be Superman with his legs or running for his life to hit a pass downfield has not only suppressed his stat lines but also caused for unnecessary tread on his tires that could eventually impact the longevity of his career. You know, at first, when I first saw the title of your, when it said front office responsible for Lamar Jackson's injuries, I was thinking like, what? But that's only half of your email, and I understand exactly what you're saying. With just the scheme and how that happens time and time again, and you broke it down like perfectly. Saying the lack of elite skill position players and these long, slow developing plays. Well, Lamar just got to sit there and wait. And so anyway, he said, have you noticed how he starts the season looking as elite as anyone in the league after working with his personal QB coach? Then after some time back under the influence of the Ravens scheme, they have a way of taking an elite talent and making him seem average from a statistical perspective. We don't have to be a pass-happy team. We can still put an emphasis on the run game while still balancing it out with solid passing concepts as well. Look at this guy. He said, just look at the Shanahan's offense out in San Fran. I hope you and the fam have a good rest of your week. And just like our possession from the crochet pass into quadruple coverage, I'm out. Okay, now enough pettiness. See, we were just talking about that Kyle Shanahan type of offense, man. I really do like it, though, man. Like I said, I really do like it how it keeps different people involved. It's fresh. But anyway, man. That's, I mean, you nailed it. Again, you broke it down to where it made it make sense. And you just hope that, like, you don't want them to just have him being Superman all the time. Let's make stuff easier. Let's make stuff simpler. Not for him, just for the whole offense. Just getting different guys involved earlier, just scheming up 4 guys and whatnot. But I mean, we can hope, right? Yeah.